Alrighty. Thank you very much, guys. So whoever was watching, we are from Align Circle Digital. This is the monthly review. And thank you very much, all of you guys being here. So today we're going to be reviewing all the changes of January. Everything that happened, the most important, not everything that happened, too much happened in January. But we're going to be talking about the most important change in January. I guess in terms of impact of change, we didn't have that many changes coming from the big boys, Facebook, Google, Twitter, but some of the changes are quite impactful. Some of the changes were quite heavy and impact quite heavily what we do in terms of marketing, of course. But before talking about the change, I just wanted to show you a couple of cases as we started the sessions, just a few cases. So today I'll show you 3 cases. I couldn't help myself to go and get Super Bowl cases. Couldn't help myself. I've watched most of the TV commercials. But again, this is digital monthly review. It's not advertising monthly review. So I'm going to be showing you guys 2 cases of Super Bowl that I found that was very interesting in terms of impact in digital, primarily social. So how many of you guys have seen the Puppy Monkey Baby? Have you seen? No? All right. That's the most bizarre campaign. Mountain Dew, this campaign, and the main reason I wanted to show this campaign to you guys today is the fact that you can see a big trend from big brands going TVC and shaping the TVCs to be talked online and shaping the TVCs to be having a footprint online. Whether it's the footprint it's not just hashtagging a campaign, but actually building up smaller pieces that you can turn into GIFs, or you can turn into Tumblrs, or you can turn into short video clips, and that's build stockability. That's exactly what these guys have done. That's not the best TV commercial on Super Bowl necessarily. I think out of the voting was the Budweiser one with the, what's the name of the actress? Helen Mirren. Yeah, she's amazing, right? She's awesome. I think the best TVC was from Budweiser with her, because it's an unexpected combination, and she was amazing. But this commercial is probably the one who generated more buzz. Actually, the biggest buzz is the other one that I'm going to show after this one. So these are here. It's been one of the most talked TVCs on Super Bowl. Oh, sorry, I don't need to click there.
Puppy Monkey Baby. 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 Puppy Monkey Baby.
Mountain Dew Kickstart. Dew, juice, caffeine.
Puppy Monkey Baby.
All right, that's very bizarre, right? I think that I don't know. I have my own strong opinion about this kind of stuff, but I think you get lost into the weirdness of the campaign and end up don't drive a recall of what actually so it's kind of a weird place to go. It's kind of almost a dangerous place to go. But anyway, this has generated in a couple of days they got like 15 million views on YouTube just out of there. Of course, $5 million in on TVC break that should give you 15 million views on YouTube. But this has been the most talked, the most extraordinary TVC, and you can see they built it up specifically. They could generate it online buzz. So if you look for Puppy Monkey Baby hashtag, you see some really weird stuff coming up now. The other case study I want to show you guys very quickly is Esurance. So Esurance has been the most mentioned brand on social media, from Twitter to Facebook to general blog posts. So you have an idea, they have generated close to 1 million tweets throughout the Super Bowl. The second most mentioned brand was Doritos with 250,000. So you see the difference of how. The key here is these guys didn't even advertise on Super Bowl. They bought the cheaper breaks in between, before and after. And that's what I did that generated buzz. The visuals, the ads, is not really a big deal. It's not really, oh my God, it's amazing TVC, but it's how they hijacked the social media.
Esurance uses technology to save money, and they pass those savings on to you. So tonight, look out for tweets from Esurance at the beginning of every commercial break and pass them on with a retweet. They've got over $1 million to give away, and every retweet is another chance to win.
It's Kale.
An insurance company that passes their savings on to you? That's insurance for the modern world. Esurance.
Well, you see why these guys got the most mentions. So what they did is they turned, they got the TVC, the break TVC, to raise awareness of their campaign itself, and then they turned this campaign to a sweepstake, and $250,000 every entry, and they got the most talkability. Still don't know exactly how this is going to translate into sales, but definitely going to help to drive recall. Let's talk about the change, the real deal. I just want to remind you guys just the change we went through last month. So for those who weren't here, there are a lot of changes in December, but the four that I would like you guys to remember. Number one is the Facebook new customer services tool. So Facebook has launched a bunch of new different features for their customer service perspective. So public, bless you, is that me? What's going on? So they launched a bunch of new different features that highlight the importance of Facebook as a customer service, a customer experience channel. One of those are response time, await time, customer history, tags, and all this sort of stuff. More details, I can send you, Neas can send you, SJ, I can send you the presentation. But this is the overall. The number two was Google testing new ads. It's very interesting. They're doing two formats, really interesting two formats. One is called trial ad runs. That's primarily focused for applications. So you can test applications before actually downloading the full application with the ad. And the second one format they're launching is a highly customizable HTML5. So HTML5, guys, for those who not know the details, spend some time, do some Googling and learn a little bit of HTML5. It is the future, it's highly customizable. It's an update of HTML4. So, Facebook live stream, probably you guys now know back and forth. We're testing different formats of live stream, but I think live stream will just going to be the default of activations. Anyone who has a lot of activations, announcements, inauguration, that's a bunch of utilization, education, that's so much. I almost feel I'll be very interested to see the next 2 months how Periscope works. Poor Twitter, right? Mm-hmm. So they're just getting back and forth like jab, jab, punch. Anyway, fourth one is Facebook ad formats, Facebook videos. Now we can buy and optimize cost per view. So let's say we have a TVC there, or sorry, TVC, we have a video that we really want to make sure people watch as much as extensively we want. For some reason, we can buy and optimize cost per view, all right? So this is based on 10 seconds view. So remember, the Facebook parameters and for video views, it's always around 10 seconds. Used to be 3, now it's 10. Everything you say, oh, we have X amount of views, you can assume straight away that means 10 seconds. So if you have a 60 seconds video, if you pay for 10 seconds view of Facebook, I think you got it. So talk about video, by the way, now it's officially, this is going to be the next newsletter, officially 60 seconds on Instagram, no minimum spend. You can have 60 seconds as straight away, no minimum spend attached to there. Because you know how Facebook and Instagram works, right? Normally, yeah, that's great innovation. Spend $150,000. This is not. This is open right now. Okay, coming back to Facebook cost per view. My view is that if you the brand awareness objective, when you go and set up Facebook ads, you can click I want these objectives. So objectives are click to the website, engagement. 12 objectives, Liam, would be? Yeah, about 12 objectives. One of the objectives is called brand awareness. So I still prefer, if you have a video, so let's say, Naz, you guys have something from Epworth, you want to make sure people watching that video, I still prefer to work with the brand awareness objective rather than cost per view. There are a few reasons, because we can optimize and by reach and frequency, while cost per view, we don't control that stuff, you know? So it's not just about completing the video view, it's about how many people I'm reaching and how often they're watching. So it might be a message they want people to watch a couple of times to really drive a recall. I think that's enough about last month. Let's talk about this month, all right? Okay, this is big. It's still beta, it's still early days, all right? So Facebook now has announced a runoff network, okay? That's very, very, very important for media buying, digital media buying. The primarily difference, so guys, let me explain this very quickly, how you buy display and how you buy ads is a general sense, okay, very general sense. You buy targeting people, individuals, you buy context, or you buy based in cookies, which is past behavior. All right, got it? So Google, for example, works very strongly on the cookies based, which means if I sit down on James' computer, I'm probably gonna get a lot of ads about treatment of baldness, because that's what he's been looking the last few days. But I don't need that stuff, right? Because it's cookie based. But if I sit down on Facebook and log in, regardless of what computer I'm using, regardless of device, Facebook is advertising to Lucio, not to the computer, not to the device. There are a few great usages of, James is obsessed with Snapchat, guys, seriously. He's spamming the shit out of me in Snapchat. I received this most weird stuff, like his feet at the beach. I'm at the beach, Lucio. Anyway. Yeah, I know. I'm not even telling you what I got from him. So there are few occasions where Google has a very expanded network and you got to work around the cookie base, and that's okay. While Facebook is contained pretty much with the platform Facebook, and they had within apps. So every time you play, what's the name of the game you play, Jess, on mobile? Like Words with Friends?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you see these little ads, words with friends, that can be serviced by Google, but also can be serviced by Facebook, all right? What Facebook has done now is expanded outside in apps and outside Facebook itself to mobile web versions of publishers. So they have not announced with the partners who the partners are, but it might be you are browsing the Edge, for example, just for the sake of this example, you might be browsing the Edge and then you receive advertising coming from Facebook rather than Google. So right now you get from Google. So how Google delivers advertising for you on the Edge? Throughout either context or cookies, okay? So as a general sense, if you are in the health industry and the article talks about health, it matches. Okay? So if you are in the car business and advertising cars and the article is about cars, yeah, you have your display there. All right? That's as a general sense how it works. Now Facebook's going to deliver on there. It's a massive blow on Google. It's a massive punch in the face on Google. And that's beautiful because we can now deliver throughout the journey. So we can deliver big awareness message across the network. While on Facebook, we can move the same audience, we can deliver product or brand benefits and features. And then we can even move to Instagram to do direct response, or vice versa. We deliver features and benefits on Instagram, and then we do direct response on Facebook, you know?
Do we know what formats they will for publishers? So will it be banner or?
There'll be two. Yeah, there'll be native There'll be native, which is it's going to be blend. So you're seeing here, it's a form of kind of native with cracked. It's kind of a form of native where you see the tiles on the in between. So you have article, image, article, tiles, copy, image, article. So this is kind of native, which I think is really good because what happened is it overcomes the problem, the second problem that digital media delivery has, ad blockers. Ad blockers are ridiculously on the rise right now. So I saw the data the other day. It's just ridiculous how many more people are using that. But the fact is that delivers on native and that delivers on banners. Okay, I'm not quite, probably banners would be picked up by ad blockers. Native won't. All right. So you need to consider this as well. When you're talking to media buying, when you talk about digital distribution in a paid capacity, it's not just about if banners work or not. It's actually, will banners ever appear because of the rise of ad blockers? And in Australia, it's just going through the roof. I read something another day, I think it was Samsung, out of their own devices now, they have as native coming, or you buy the mobile, it's already there, embedded, ad blocker. You don't even install anymore. So that's a big concern. That's why publishers and everyone is are concerned about it. All right. I'm gonna keep moving. If I just find my mouse, it worked. Yeah, it did. All right. Any questions regarding that? Because I'm gonna move to the second one. No? Okay. Cool. Alrighty. The second one is Facebook Canvas. It's again a big thing, big innovation in the format base coming from Facebook. All right. So Facebook Canvas. Let me go to the end and then I'll fill it up the information. Up to the 28th of this month, it's a minimum 50,000.
Yeah.
So for you to use Canvas ad now, you need to commit at least 50 grand spent with Facebook so you can use this format. From the 28th onwards, from next month, from 1st March, we can use this regardless of the ad spend. All right? We haven't tested yet. This is just came out of the oven a couple of weeks ago in a big announcement. Facebook in Australia has partnered with 3 or 4 brands to launch this in Australia, being Australia.com, Australia Tourism being one of the partners. And we're already, have you guys finished for one of the clients? So we already have a prototype for one of the clients that we're going to be launching to test the format. But the format is pretty much, think about a microsite, interactive microsite within Facebook. That's what it is. Okay, so you stitch different formats, whether it's video or carousel, call to actions. You can tilt the mobile. So let's say you have a panorama image. You can get the mobile tilt so you can see on the sides. So it can be used for a bunch of stuff. For cars, it can show the interior of the cars. For a store, it can be showing the different angles of the store. For for food, you can have a big table of food that you can see the different angles.
Format? Like, how do you actually film that? Like, how do you do that?
Still images.
Still images.
Yeah, and the video is video. It's normal video,
And it's like stitched together, kind of.
and you stitch that together.
Okay.
So
It's
the,
not video. It's actually.
it's not just video, SJ. It's let me show you here one case, and then I'll explain more details. So this is a BMW. Did I stitch this right? Sorry guys. Is it playing?
It was playing. Clicking it.
Sorry, let me just go. Oops. So as these movements are people actually moving, touching the screen. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are people touching the screen. This is just one example. So then we have a little video there, right? So that's a video format right there. Everything together. And then we have another video.
You can also have portrait videos that take up the whole screen.
And then you tilt the mobile, right? Then you tilt, this is like turning the mobile movement, so you can see the other pieces of the car.
Oh, so that's one image, and
It's just a big image.
and it's just zoomed in, and you can.
Yeah.
I see.
So just imagine I have a big image of all of us here, and then when I upload on Facebook, I upload this middle here, and then I can tilt so I can see
Yeah.
you, Christina, Jeff. I tilt here, I can see Emma, everyone else. So there is a bunch of examples online. I'm not going to go now, but I'll circulate it. The URL is canvas.facebook.com. I'll make sure that reaches you guys. There's a bunch of examples. I think the whole deal is one of the biggest trends in digital coming now is the fact that all the channels are building big walls, boundaries, so you don't leave the channels. Facebook is building its own web browser. So everything you click, you don't leave Facebook ever. All right? So it's a prison. Once you're there, you're never gonna leave. But if you really think about it, Twitter is doing the same. So Twitter made autoplay for Periscope video, which means you don't need to click to go to someone else. It just loads automatically. Snapchat is locked by its nature. All right? Instagram, it's not really the most friendly place to have URL so you can go out and do that stuff. And they're extending 60 seconds videos and all this stuff. So it almost feels to me, that's very, very early days, it almost feels to me that we are kind of going back to a few years ago. Remember when the craziness of apps on Facebook, when apps came in, you would build apps for every single thing. You have like try to hold your users within the platform. It's not different now. The difference though is the fact that Facebook is building, it's like a big wall. All right, so it's very early days. I'm not quite sure how this is gonna be impacting any content, organic or paid content that we do with the intention to drive traffic outside the platforms, which means we're gonna be, this is a very generalization, guys, because it's so early days. To the general sense, we need to use the native formats and the features within the system to reach the objective we want. For example, rather than trying to have links on your content to generate leads, you're trying to generate job applicants, or you're trying to generate leads for test drive, or you're trying to generate names for a new shop database, for example, SJ, rather than doing this via links, you're either going to do this via an app or the native format, which is the lead ads. All right? So, but the challenge, it's not really a challenge, but the whole thing now is the smarts behind how much thing is. So you get Canvas, for example, right? The format is there, but now where the money and the time goes on Canvas is really orchestrating the sequence of messages you're gonna put there and the format you're gonna put there and stitch this together. So it's almost like get back to production again. You need to strategize your production, build it up some of the stuff, get there, and then you deploy in the media capacity. All right, it's not just chucking them in media. Say, yeah, fingers crossed, everything goes well. All right. All right, this is Facebook Canvas Ads. I'm gonna keep moving unless you guys have any questions. All right. Oops.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sure.
I was on my phone. You may have mentioned this, but what's the CTA like? Can you go to web? Can you? What is the?
Various different ones. So
Okay, cool.
it's kind of like an all-purpose ad.
Yeah.
So you can showcase a lot of imagery. You can detail have paragraphs that detail the product or the
Yeah.
event
Okay.
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Videos and a carousel ad that goes to multiple different locations and
Okay.
stuff like that. So,
Okay.
Yeah, you close with a call to action.
Yeah.
By this time next month, we'll have or hopefully our first case. Hopefully you're gonna have our first case. There's something red popping up there, Liam, is that right?
It's the max length of live videos, so I'll start a new stream. So.
Oh, that's new for me, didn't know that. All right. Snapchat. So Snapchat is the flavor of the month, right? I read this sentence of, so there's a big white paper came from SODA, which is a Society of Digital Agencies. Really great organization in America. They are amazing. They're really, really good, and they on the forefront of trends that will be dictating digital in the next years or so. They always right. I'm not quite sure if they always right because everyone ends up following them, because they say something and everyone follows them, and then the prediction becomes reality.
They're setting the agenda.
They set an agenda, but the reality is most of the things they put it out there, it actually it turns out to be quite reasonable and truthful. One of the things I read in the last report was amazing. Actually changed my mindset from thinking of Snapchat as a shitty little app to something that's going to be a massive game changer. And the sentence was, Snapchat, it's not a Facebook competitor. Snapchat is a TV competitor. Snapchat will replace TV. They will replace TV. It's a big statement. Let me give a fact. This is a fact, all right? MTV VMA Awards in America, 12.5 million people follow their real time on Snapchat Discovery, while on TV the total audience was 9.5 mil. So you got the gist, all right? In terms of live events, it's already there. So for many of us, it would be like double our budgets, right? So it's not a place to go. But anyway, Snapchat is the TV replacement of Facebook killer. I found this very profound, very interesting. A little bit more facts, and I wrote this so you guys get a little bit of gist of Snapchat. Over the last year, I'm talking about 2015, in the US, Snapchat was added in bigger percentage by 25 to 34 years old compared to 18 to 24. So they had a baseline. So they're growing, not necessarily in raw numbers, more with the, I wouldn't call older audience, right? For Snapchat is older, but at 30 plus, then actually they're growing with 18 and younger, in a faster pace. And the way they explain it is uncles and aunties catching up with their nephews and nieces and say, oh, what is this Snapchat thing? Can you teach me? And playing around, and then going to the beach and send to other friends images, all right? So the whole deal is Facebook, it is becoming mainstream, and that's a place to watch. So for many of our clients, we already claimed the URL just in case. So we don't know where we're gonna be. Most of our clients, is Snapchat gonna be suitable or not? We need to work our archetypes that I learned from Christina and see what it fits. But we already, with one of our clients, we are testing probably next month. Okay? Any questions around there?
Lucia, where will the younger audience go when us oldies get on Snapchat? Because like with Facebook, there was that shift. I've got a 15-year-old who uses Snapchat all the time and did use Facebook at 11, and got off as soon as we all got on. And I imagine the same thing will happen. Will there be something new? Because there hasn't really been much new.
Yeah, I think it's a great question, Christina. I think that there are two things mixed on there. First thing is, young people, young audience, as a generalization, they still are on Facebook, but they are less frequent.
Yeah.
That's the deal. They're less frequent. So therefore, getting a message to them in a more frequent sequence became more harder and more expensive. So that's the first thing. The second thing is very much the dynamic of Snapchat. There will be a drop off, of course, because it's not cool anymore. Once Lucio, James, and or older audience becomes, it's not cool anymore. But you gotta understand that. We don't need to, but I think we need to consider the whole environment itself. While Facebook is it's a big piazza, a big open space where your mom comes and say, hey dude, click your likes and shares and comments, and if you don't follow your mom, or if you don't you don't friend your mom or your dad, you're dead, right? What happens on this Snapchat itself is the fact that it's a private one-to-one communication. So there's no the public scrutiny. Can I say that word in English? Need to go back to school.
Scrutiny.
Thank you very much for three of people who said the word I can say. But there is the fact that it's a more private thing, which makes also a challenge for us as a marketers. How do we break through there? How we make that work for us? The eyeballs are there, but it's a one-on-one. So same, just yeah.
I just have a comment on that. It's really interesting. One of our centres, one of the marketing managers came up to me and she said, and I never considered it in this context, that Snapchat is used a lot by the Muslim community and women in the Muslim community because it's exceptionally private. So they use it because it disappears. So that's a whole other context. We've actually never considered, you consider age, but this cultural context.
I haven't even thought about
I thought
that.
that was really fascinating because we don't get much cut through with Facebook. So I've said to that marketing manager, let's look at Snapchat then, like it's a no-brainer. And she's like, yeah. So I just thought that was really fascinating because I've never considered it.
It is very fascinating.
Because you always think in age brackets, right?
You're right.
You don't think, or like unless you're considering like China or Asia, and then you consider different platforms because of language. But yeah, I just thought that was really interesting.
It is very interesting. That's a very good
So it's like
consideration too.
something to consider if you have a market base that's, not white Anglo-Saxon and not adopters of certain things or have certain cultural considerations. I was kind of mind blown. I just didn't even expect it.
That's a very good point.
And what does that mean for other cultures? Like, are there other mediums?
Yeah.
Like I know in Asia they use WeChat, and we're trying to figure out how to. We
Breaking
have
through there.
massive Asian communities that we're trying to reach, and we're trying to figure out how to get on there. And is Weibo dead? And it's. I just think it's
What's
really
interesting,
interesting.
I find is the platforms are realizing that, like with YouTube's new systems for translation and targeting people with different languages and things like that, and Facebook's had language-based targeting for a long time and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So they're all starting to catch on.
Yeah.
I think that there is, you're absolutely right, SJ. There is, and if you really go back even to the basics of everything, like how many of us, we haven't even got our videos on YouTube and have translated to a second or third language. Remember the fact that one of these digital academies that I said that the numbers we have in Australia, about 25% as the generalization of search on YouTube in Australia are made with a second language, a language other than English. And YouTube built a bunch of features facilitating the discovery. We don't even talk about engagement. We don't even talk about translating a full video into Chinese or Spanish or Portuguese. Just talk about the discovery, the findability of there. We know, for example, for a fact that one of the behaviors from when I think Chinese moving to New Zealand, for example, is to buy a luxury car. Is a statement. Is a statement of I'm here, and having ads set up there. How people gonna look for the health on Google is a Chinese, where they deliver on the ads are. Yeah, it's a really good point. I'll move on. The big news of the day, Internet Explorer is dead. Look at Raul's face. Look at his face. I never seen Raul happier than that. So, yeah, wow. Woo-hoo. Yeah.
This is very worrying for me.
Well, it's very
We're
worrying.
running 99 in a lot of our.
Oh, I know, I'm the same.
I know it's awful. It's like the worst, but
I agree.
and unfortunately our system that connects all of our centres, Citrix, we have to completely update that system in order to.
To move
It's
on from
like-
there.
We're in the same position.
IT.
Yeah.
Remember,
It's so annoying.
IE11 is the last version now we support from Microsoft. All right, everything below 11, there's no support anymore. It is a massive worry. If I was sitting in IT or on these teams, I would be like updating or find my way to go through, because there will. I think the whole deal for us is, first thing is what that matters for us. First thing is losing time in new developments based on IE and scoping new websites or apps, all the stuff to perform extremely well on anything below 10. It's pretty much lost time. We still have a big base on IE. I would estimate about 20% would be IE across different versions. That's kind of the number I would estimate. You're right? That's all right.
I just have to postpone the week, but that's fine.
Sorry. We have one more. We have two more, then we're done. Okay. I'll summarize this. First thing is the fact that you should not be worrying too much about scoping and optimizing for tech dev projects around versions 11 down, because they'll be forced into updating quite quickly. That 20% going to be small quite fast. The second challenge for us is the fact that if I want to hack into Epworth Facebook, I don't sit on Facebook and try Nest's password and username on Facebook itself a billion times. That's a social engineering around. I go throughout different ways, all right? I might create a website about horses and I say, oh, Nest is amazing, look at this. But all you need to do is to log in here and create an account for you. You're done. Got it. I got a password. And I guarantee that password will be very similar to everything you use online. Unfortunately, that's how we do, right? So password is something completely different. So for James would be something like snapchattips.com.au and I get oh stop James, I stop. That's the last joke about Snapchat. I promise I stopped there.
You just added me.
Yeah. Oh, I can't stop.
You can't stop now.
You're not helping, James. You're not helping.
On 2 accounts. Online Circle as well.
Oh really?
I'm
Okay.
logging out and in.
I didn't get that
through a
notification.
Yeah, we have Online Circle Snapchat account. We have one. Yay.
Oh yeah, right.
So we, the first thing is, IE. Do not worry too much because it costs a lot of money to be optimizing for IE, and it costs a lot of time. It's just not worth anymore. The second thing is about the fact that an example is Jess is connected to Facebook of one of the clients, and she's using IE, and I can get her into malware or something throughout the IE, and then orchestrate my way into her Facebooks and Twitters and Instagrams and all this stuff. All right, that's the worry about us. So we gotta make sure. Online Circle, one of the things I take a lot of pride, many years ago that we created is the SDF check. It's a security design function. Nest shaking her hand. She probably remember we're doing that. So every month we move through the accounts, we check passwords, whoever has access, we eliminate people, all this stuff. So we have our biggest concern about that. That's one of the difference between when you work with an agency as Online Circle and a social media digital consultant one-man show. Not that all smart people there, okay? But that's one of the things you need to consider. And you see here in the video, sponsored by Online Circle Digital. All right, moving forward. I got two more, then we're all done. I'm gonna be 5 minutes past 9:30, guys. So bear with me. That's just two more things. Leads ads. So you are hopefully are familiar with leads ads right now. So I'll just summarize very quickly just to make sure everyone's on the same level. So the lead ads works that way. You have ads that capture data directly on Facebook without leaving the Facebook platform. So the ads show up like this. You have a button, call to action button like subscribe, and then you are presented with a form, and this out-populated from your information on Facebook, and then you submit successful. So I can extract that information via CSV, or I can build here to feed directly into database, Salesforce, HubSpot, CRMs, all this sort of stuff, all right? Some of these softwares have already direct integration with that. Some of these softwares, they don't, so you need to build an API. You need to be customized and scoped. So they launched these not long ago, about 2 months ago, Liam, give it a take, lead ads.
Lead ads, yeah.
Yeah, give it a take.
2 months ago.
And last month they announced this. When they launched, Facebook came and said, "Oh my God, this is the best thing in the world." All right, it's okay, it's good, it's not perfect, it's okay, it's worth the trial, it's worth to have a couple of campaigns there, test with a newsletter, maybe test with a job offer, or I don't know, but it's not perfect. And the last advancements from Facebook demonstrate that probably needs more work. So they launched three new improvements, all right? The one of the improvements is now you do this on mobile and desktop. So it was mobile only, now you have mobile and desktop for this format, which is great, all right? The second improvement is now they're also available in carousel format, 3 to 5 images and headlines before the form, all right? So you can have there, sign up for Lance Circle newsletter, full of tips, case studies. You can get styles and then you turn there. So that's available now. But for me, the most important advancement, the most important improvement is the fact that now you can build a context card before the form itself. So the context card, this is just one example of what the context card is. So that's good. That could be a pitch for the users on sign up for a newsletter, some image, or you're going to receive a newsletter once a month or twice a week or whatever they are. That's an advantage. So you have a pre-pitch before giving the conversion, which I think it's amazing. It's really, really good. So of course you need to do some creative, you need to do copy, but that's a step that I believe was missing. So this is improvement. So what the carousel now work, or the carousel, sorry, what the lead ads now work is you have your ad in terms of creative production copy, you have your ad, you have your context card, you have the form, and you have the success, which is the last piece there, which it's not customizable. Few things, because we've been trialing, few things. It does not allow drop down, pre-filled.
It does.
Oh, it does now?
Yeah. So
okay, sorry.
The some of the options include suggested questions, like that they would get a lot in forms, but then there's also a customizable option, and you can select the answers yourself. There is a limit on the maximum. I don't know off the top of my head, but so there is still some constraints, but a little bit of customizing. Obviously, that all the customized questions won't be pre-filled with information, so users will have to select from a menu or type it in themselves, etc.
Yeah. Good. Alrighty, I'll move on. There's one more, and then we're done. Any questions on lead ads? No? Okay. Yeah, sure.
I do have a question. We had some pushback from another agency around T's and C's. There's like a
Privacy
special,
policy.
and you need your privacy policy updated
So yeah,
accordingly.
it requires a privacy
Thing
policy.
for us, yeah.
And some privacy policies, the language will already cover this sort of thing. Not all of them, so you have to
Yeah.
get it reviewed.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But that could be like a bit of a blocker if you're a big organisation.
The other
Just something we're considering.
The other thing we realised doing our first one was there's no additional options for confirmation. So if you wanted to have an option where people could opt in to receive to be contacted in other ways,
Right.
legally you would need a separate opt-in for that. In Australia anyway, it's probably different in America. But it's difficult to have that, so you'd have to create like another slide in your form, and sort of, so it's not exactly perfect yet,
Yeah.
but they're getting there.
Yeah, they're moving on, and it's worth to test a couple of different elements there. All right, and the last one is reactions on Facebook again. So that has been already rolling out across different, so some different people might be seeing already reactions, some others not. So the reactions, this is how it looks like, the reactions. It's a feature similar to the traditional like button, but provides a wider range of emotional responses. So you can click like, but also you can click love and haha, all this sort of stuff, all right? And when I saw this first, I say, oh yeah, great, another gimmick of Facebook. Yeah, who cares? But then I stopped to pay attention, say, whoa, hold on. It's actually quite big. Just imagine the fact that attribution, for example, you can work around attribution, you can work around discovery. There's so much actually coming from that change, it's no joke. Actually, I read an article on Umbrella, which I prefer to send to you all, that it goes in this, a little bit more details. There's actually an article on Adweek and Umbrella about that goes in more details about the possible impact of this. So rather than going now in all the details, because I'm already late, I'll prefer to circulate that to you. But there's a big impact, and one of the impacts would be the fact that they will have a quality score across your delivery, content delivery, that can of course impact not dissimilar to what Google is doing for years and years and years and years with quality score, right? It's not whoever pays more, it's also the content that has more likability to be either impressing consumers or generating clicks from consumers. There is a direct impact on there. So if you don't have any questions, this is it. This is the monthly review. Thank you very much. Anything there on live stream? Can I stop?
Yeah.
Bye-bye. We're gonna close that. Thank you.